Principle number 4. Hopefully you're applying principles 1, 2, and 3, or you did that the first 3 days. So this is day number 4 of our leadership series. This is 7 things that you can do to build trust and rapport with people in week number 1. And tip number 4 is you want to make an effort to remember people's names. This is one of the things that we get asked about most often, especially when we're doing seminars, because a lot of times one of the things that we do a lot especially in our public speaking classes and leadership classes and even our team building events is we like to kind of show people how to improve their memory. And the reason why we do that is because most people think that they're not very good at memorizing things. So if we can show them how every single one of them has a photographic memory, it kind of shocks them. It kind of lets people know that, man, I've underestimated myself there. And if I've underestimated myself there, maybe I've underestimated myself in other areas. And once people start to figure out that we do a lot of memory stuff, the thing that we get asked about most often is, how in the world do I remember names? And I know a lot of you some of you that have kind of read ahead in the 28 Ways to Influence People and saw that this principle was going to be about making an effort to remember names, that you were probably thinking that in this video we were going to show you something really super secret about how to remember people's names. And unfortunately that's not going to happen, but we do have a whole session of the High Impact Leaders class that's on our online seminar series that you can kind of purchase for a very small fee from our website, and you can kind of go through that whole thing. But I'll give you a summary. The highest level of how to really remember people's names is that the first thing you have to do is really hear it, because a lot of times we're focusing on ourselves and not really on the other person, so a lot of times we don't even hear the person's name. So getting the focus off of ourselves and getting on to that other person will really help you remember names a whole lot more effectively. What you're telling people when you remember that person's name is that you're important. You were important enough that I took the effort to remember your name. And so when you forget that person's name, what do you tell them then, right? So there's always a negative or a potential negative consequence if you forget somebody's name. So principle number 4 is you want to make an effort to remember people's names.